Hi, everybody. This is Dr. Gurley from My Soul Life Coaching. I wanted to talk a little bit today about managing workplace conflict. With my clients, I've used this model that I call the PEACE model. So PEACE, PEACE model. And it stands for pause, evaluate, ask, compromise, and engage. So I wanted you to have a little bit more of some tidbits on how you can apply this model in your own situation. I like it because you can use it at work when you have workplace conflict, but you can also use it at home. You can use it with your friends, your spouse, right? Your kids. It really is pretty broad, even though for the purpose today, we're going to talk about using it in the workplace. So let's just get at it. So peace. Pause is our first portion of this. What does that mean? So I'm in a situation maybe where I'm presenting information and a colleague is just very combative or just trying to bring me down or really try to make it look like I'm not being articulate or, I'm missing the boat here. What can I do? Well, I can have the human reactions, right? And say, nope, I know what I'm doing. Sit down, stop talking. Or I can take a minute and take a breath, right? Take a pause and try to see maybe where this person is coming from. Maybe see if I can handle the situation with less emotion. It's hard, and I know it's hard. It's hard when you feel attacked. It's hard when you feel that this person's out to get you or you feel derailed. But there are times where you have a cooler head and you have a better chance to create a situation that's positive by just taking that pause, taking that breath, maybe allowing them to say what they need to say. And maybe letting them know, hey, that's a great idea. I think maybe you and I can connect after a little bit more about it. Maybe that alone kind of helps you achieve your goal of finishing up your presentation and be making sure that you feel heard, but allowing your combative maybe co-worker to also feel heard and try to maintain situation control by not letting them derail you. That's the first piece of the model is pause. The next one is evaluate. Evaluate your feelings about the situation. Is it fair to say that if one of your other coworkers that maybe you have a better relationship with said the same thing that this coworker is saying, would you feel the same? Would you be more open to hearing them because it's not from a coworker that you have a better relationship with, and that is coming from a positive place? Like that is something that is a big deal. You really need to evaluate your own feelings because it's important to know, am I reacting because maybe this coworker and I don't have a good relationship? Am I reacting really based on content and what this coworker is saying to me? So take a second to just make sure that you're in the right place to hear what they're saying and that you're not judging based on maybe your exposure to this coworker, and maybe your ability to not hear them because you guys may have had some prior conflict. The other piece is ask. So where you can, ask for clarity. See if you can really understand what the coworker is trying to say, and be positive about engaging them, right? So be positive in language and tone and facial expressions, so that way you're in a place of control. The more we give our emotional responses to others, the less control of the situation we have. So it is very, very important for you to kind of maintain your poise and your posture and your control of the situation by not allowing it to derail into more conflict because you're now having an emotional response to maybe a less positive coworker as well. So I talked on the blog a lot about making sure that you understand their perspective, right? So what's in it for them? Why are they pushing back so hard? Spend some time kind of thinking through that and having that type of dialogue. If it's not appropriate to have it in the session you're in, take it outside, right? Take it outside, do a virtual, right? Well, most of us are virtual still. Do a virtual coffee chat and just chit chat with them. A lot of times when people don't feel heard, they tend to react negatively to anything, especially change, right? I am going to do an entire session on just change to help your coworkers embrace change a little bit better. But that is definitely a struggle in the workplace. A lot of folks just don't like change, especially with everything going on. The other two items is compromise and engage. So compromise. Is there a win-win? Is there anything that you can do so that you can meet your coworker halfway and they meet you halfway? Could you have that dialogue? Could you make a suggestion? Could you potentially break it into a phase 1, phase 2 approach, right? It depends on your given scenario. But is there any opportunity so that you both can win? That your coworker feels heard, that you get to move forward with whatever you're pitching or proposing or whatever idea you're bringing to the team. Think about that, right? Because that's the best solution, right? At that point, that's one of the best ways that you get both parties to just really, really feel like they both won, even if that means you compromise a little and you just lean into each other a little bit more. And then at the end, I talk about engaging. There are times where you're too close to it, you're too emotional, right? I'm in IT as well, so I know sometimes I've spent so much time on something that it's like my baby and I want it the way I want it, right? I've worked so hard on it. So maybe I'm not the best judge to determine a win-win. And there are times we have to bring somebody else in, right? With somebody else with fresh perspective, somebody that doesn't have stake in the game, right? That cares so much about my item being approved, right? That they just care honestly that we get the best. And sometimes that person has the right perspective that can help listen to both sides and give some constructive criticism. So I think that that's something that we forget sometimes, is that sometimes we do need help because we're just too close to it, and that is okay. That is not something you beat yourself about, right? That just means that you're really passionate and you've thrown your heart and soul into something, so you're trying to ensure the success of it as well. So I encourage you to take this step back and review the model, right? Thinking about the peace model when you're in a situation of conflict. And again, it stands for pause, evaluate, ask, compromise, and engage. I hope this is helpful. I really would love to hear from you. It's on my blog at isolifecoaching.com. You can leave comments. You can ask questions there. If you're having tremendous difficulties implementing or just really being able to connect in with your coworkers, or you're having conflict in the office, you can also set up some time to meet with me. My role here is to kind of help you if you're feeling stuck, changing your paradigm. I want to help, so please reach out to me. You can schedule some time with me. And again, this is Dr. Gurley from My Soul Life Coaching. It's so nice to be able to connect with you virtually today, and I hope that you're able to implement the peace model to help manage workplace conflict. If you use this in other parts of your life, feel free to also let me know how it worked. Thank you so much and have a good rest of your day. Bye.